In this video, we're going to work on completing your worksheets. You should have page 10, which we started working on yesterday in class. And again, feel free to stop this video at any time so that you have enough time to work at your own pace. So basically, we did the translation of the Mishnah here. And now we have some questions to make sure that you understand the Mishnah properly. The first question is, what should a person do if he's riding on an animal and it is time for tefillah? So the Mishnah says that Yered, he should get down from the animal. Why do you think he should do that? So you guys mentioned in class different reasons. One of them is because you should be standing while you say tefillah, so you should concentrate better. The next question is, what should he do if he cannot get down from the donkey? So that's the second case. V'imeno yachol le'yered, if he cannot get down. Then the Mishnah said, yachzir et panav, then at least turn your face. And turn your face means towards the Har HaBayit, towards Yerushalayim. Right, towards which direction? Even though the Mishnah doesn't say that, but it's clear that that's, as we'll see later in the Mishnah, that that's the place that we need to direct our tefillah to. Okay, and then we discuss in class, like, how could it happen that the person cannot get down from his donkey? So there could be different practical reasons. Maybe there's no one to hold the animal, there's nowhere to tie it, or maybe he's in a rush, or maybe it's a place that is dangerous to get off. So whatever reason, there are some practical reasons that might prevent a person from getting off. So sometimes you can't do the mitzvah in the best possible way, which in this case would be get down, stand, so you can focus. But sometimes we can't do that, so we have to know what the options are. So the Mishnah says, okay, so the next best thing is stay in the animal, but at least face towards Yerushalayim. Next page, the Mishnah continues and says, what if the person riding the animal cannot turn his face? What should he do? So the Mishnah said that he should have in mind to direct his tefillah towards Yerushalayim. He should think that his tefillah should go to Yerushalayim. Okay, so the reason for this halacha is, and we discussed this in class, why is it important to face Yerushalayim, specifically the Har HaBayit, and more specifically the Kodesh Kadashim, is because when Yaakov was running away from Esav, which is this week's Parsha, so as he was running away, he stopped to sleep in Yerushalayim, which it wasn't called Yerushalayim then, it was called a different name, it was called Shalem. But there, when he fell asleep, Hashem spoke to him in a dream. Right? In the morning when Yaakov woke up and he realized what had happened during the night, and he had realized that Hashem spoke to him, he said that Ze Sha'ar Hashamayim. Ze, Zayin He, Sha'ar, Shin Ayin Reish, Hashamayim, He Shin, Mem Yud, Mem Sofit. He said that this place is the gate to Shamayim, to heaven. He realized that this is the place where he saw the ladder connecting the heaven and the earth, and that Hashem speaks there, so he realized that this is the point where the world connects to Shamayim. So because of that, when a Jewish person says tefillah, anywhere in the world, he should always face, or she should always face towards that place, towards Yerushalayim, more specifically the Har HaBayit, because that's where Yaakov slept. So now, some practical questions. So what happens if you're in different places? Some of us travel in different cities in the United States or different countries. So the questions is United States, Mexico, Australia, Moscow, Tel Aviv, Tzfat, Yerushalayim, or if you're in the Har HaBayit. So let's take a look at the map. The concept of this Mishnah is that a person's tefillah should always be directed towards the Har HaBayit. So it's over here. Israel is a small country, but it's right over here. So if we're in the United States, we're going to face this way, which is east. Okay? If we are, for example, in Mexico, which is here, so we're also going to be facing east. The same thing is true in Canada or all of South America. We're west, so we're going to face east. However, let's say that a person is in Moscow, and Moscow is around here. This is where Russia is. So if a person is in Moscow, you're going to face south. Or let's say that a person is in Australia. Well, Australia is east of Israel, so you're going to be facing west. Okay, if a person will be in South Africa, you're going to face north. All right, you get the idea. Now we're going to see what happens if you're in Israel itself. Where do we face? So let's take a look at the map. Okay, so what happens if you're in Israel itself? So if you're in Tel Aviv is over here, and Yerushalayim is this way. So you're going to be facing towards the southeast. If you are in Tzfat, which is over here in the north, I'm sure that you have or you will be in Tzfat. It's a beautiful city. So if you're there, you're going to be facing south. If you would be, for example, in Beersheba, where Avram lived for a while, or in Hebron, where Avram, Sarah, and the Imaot and the Avot are buried, so you're going to be facing north. Now, if you're in Yerushalayim itself, so it depends where in Yerushalayim, because the focal point is the Har HaBayit. So you're going to be facing towards the Har HaBayit, the Temple Mount. And if you are in the Temple Mount itself, so you're going to be facing the Kodesh Kadashim, because as we spoke in class yesterday, the Kodesh Kadashim is the place. That's where the connection is between heaven and earth. That's where Yaakov slept, and that's where Hashem revealed this dream to Yaakov. Okay, so just making sure, if you're in the United States, you face towards the east, as we saw on the map. If you're in Mexico, also you face east. If you're in Australia, so you're going to be facing west. Now, you don't have to memorize this. So the point of this is just to make you aware that the direction where you face depends on where you are in the world. So it's not true that we always face east. For example, if you're in Australia, you're facing west. If you're in Moscow, which is north, you're going to be facing south. If you're in Tel Aviv, you're facing east. If you're in Tzfat, which is the north part of Israel, you're facing south. If in Yerushalayim itself, so you're facing towards the Har HaBayit, towards the Kodesh Kadashim. If you're in the Har HaBayit, which is the Temple Mount behind the Kotel, where the Beit HaMikdash stood, you're there inside, then you're going to be facing towards the Kodesh HaKadashim. Okay, now we're going to focus on some practical applications. So these are laws that are based on this Mishnah and the Gemara that discusses them. So for example, if you're driving, meaning either you're the driver, well, if you're the driver, then obviously you should stop and pull on the side of the road so you can say tefillah. If you're a passenger and you're not in control of the car, that would be an example like you can't get off the donkey, you can't get off the car because, hey, you're not the passenger. So then, or let's say you're in a, right, you're going somewhere with your family, you're in a bus or in a train, so then you just say tefillah where you are. You may not be able to get off. Okay? Let's say when you're a passenger on a bus, the same thing. You're not in control of the bus, so you just say tefillah in your seat. And you shouldn't stand up because that's dangerous to be standing while the bus is moving. Besides, they won't allow you to stand when the bus is moving. So basically what you do is you remain seated for the Amidah and you put your feet together and you say Amidah sitting down. No problem. Now when flying, so you might have seen, for example, when you fly to Israel, that people get up and they say tefillah, and they even organize a minyan. But the truth is that most rabbis are of the opinion that you shouldn't do that. And the reason is because when you do that, you make many other people uncomfortable because they need to move around, they have to go to the bathroom, they have to whatever. So it's an inconvenience for other people. So it's not right to do a mitzvah in a way that makes other people inconvenient. So therefore, when you're flying also, you should just remain in your seat and you don't stand up and you just put your feet together and say tefillah. And these things we learn from the Mishnah. Now, we also learn from this Mishnah the following. So many times it's easy to find out which way Yerushalayim is. We use our compass, or if we have a good sense of direction, we know the ocean is, right? So we know in Miami, for example, the ocean is east, so that gives us a good hint which way to face. But let's say you're in the middle of nowhere, you don't have a compass, you're kind of confused. So what do? So again, the Mishnah teaches us that if you can't turn around, meaning you don't know which way to face, so you face any way you want and just have in mind that you're directing your tefillah towards the Harabait. So that's what we learn from this Mishnah.